This is Pod Populi.
Podcast for the people.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
Hi again, everyone. It's Brian Howie. Welcome to the Great Love Debate, the world's number one dating and relationship podcast. Since 2015, I am here in the brand new, fancy, evolved studio of Pod Populi, podcast for the people. I'm at the one in Scottsdale, Arizona. This one, oh man, Pod Populi 2.0 here in Old Town. I'm very excited about this episode. I'll bring in my co-host for this episode in a second. As I told you last week, I wanted to talk about breakups, and not because I have some sense of the macabre or whatever. And I wasn't interested in why you guys broke up, because that has a lot of nuance, and you can break up a million different ways for a million different reasons over a million different things. I don't want to get into it. I wanted to get into the how. I want to know how people are handling breakups. And so I asked you guys, I sent out an APB, an all points breakup, for you guys to send me how you broke up, whether you were the broke up-er or you were the broke up-e. I wanted to find out how. And I wanted to pick some different ones to be like, oh, God. And so you guys sent some weird ones. You sent some funny ones. You sent some sad ones, crazy ones. And so we picked a half dozen here, and we're going to run through them, and we're going to give you a few thoughts on if that was handled correctly or why you think they do that or whatever. So I brought in, I don't know if she's an expert on breaking up. She's been on this podcast three times before?
I think 3 times.
3 times a lady. She's the host of Path to Passion. She's a voiceover artist and a singer. She might sing a little bit. So we're talking about breakups today.
Because breaking up is hard to do.
Well, I don't know if it's hard to do, so we're going to get into it. I mean, it should be hard to do. Even if you went out for a short period of time with people, it should be hard to do. You should
I have thoughts on this.
Feel some angst about it. Are you a good breaker-upper? Have you dumped a lot of dudes in your life? Is there just a pile of Yael Lanciano? No. I didn't say your name. Oh, that's your name. Yael. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. There is not a big pile of broken up Yael Lanciano dudes, but
Lanciano exes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think a lot of my breakups have been mutual, or it just kind of felt like
it ran its course.
It just kind of ran its course. And then in those cases, the breakups, are not that hard. However, I have had my heart broken, and I have broken hearts.
And you have broken hearts.
Yeah.
Are you aware when you are breaking the heart that you're doing it?
Yes.
Are you aware before you break up that you're probably going to break a heart?
Yes.
Does that affect the how?
Yes.
So if you think you're going to break a heart, do you send a carrier pigeon?
No.
Do you just leave a note on the fridge? What do you do?
No, it affects the how in terms of the delivery, Yeah. And you're just more sensitive to the whole thing. And it's also just a lot harder.
Yeah, I know. Going in and then you hope they move on quickly to somebody else so you don't feel so guilty.
I know. And then it's the worst when you live together and then you have to figure that whole thing out.
We'll get into that in a second.
God. Okay.
Yeah, divorced people, you've never been married.
No.
The day's not over though. I've never been married. That's got to be okay, now who calls the lawyer and the paperwork and the day somebody moves out.
In those cases, break it up is hard to do.
Yeah, it sounds so adult. We've talked about on this podcast before how a lot of boyfriends and girlfriends break up and get back together all the time. But husbands and wives, that rarely happens. Because once you bring attorneys into things.
Yeah, but it does happen. There are those stories.
It does happen.
Yeah.
It does. All right. So you guys, great love listeners, you sent them a lot of emails, some via our Facebook, some on our Instagram, actually. And we got a lot because I only asked for these a week or two ago, and you guys all had some good ones. And sometimes you were the breaker-upper, and sometimes you were the breaker-up-e. So we have a half dozen of them here, and we are going to break them down and give our thoughts on this. You ready?
Ready.
Okay. The first one is from Lisa in New York. We flew to Paris for his 40th birthday. All my friends said that this was the opportunity he was going to take to propose. We always spoke about it and talked about how Paris would be a fun place to get engaged. Long story short, we were there a week. He got weirder by the day. And on the way home, he just looks at me in first class and says, I don't think I can see you anymore. And that was that. Somewhere over Greenland, he just said that. Then he didn't say another word. Why not do it before the trip? Did I do something on the trip? I'll never know. I drank 14 glasses of champagne, and that was that. He stuck me in a cab, and it was the end.
Whoa.
That's got to be weird. Going from, oh my God, we're going to get engaged, to that doesn't happen. Already disappointment to, I'm out.
I wish we knew how long they were together for.
Well, if she thought they had already talked about it, so he hit 40 maybe and had a midlife crisis? I mean...
Or maybe he just saw a lot of hot girls in Paris.
I mean, could that be it? But then you figure his mood would be, I don't know. Then that's weird. Like, why do it on the
plane?
I feel, Lisa, I'm not judging. Did you do something? Did you pressure him, like thinking the big?
Okay.
Did you make him feel like he was disappointing you on this trip to Paris for his birthday? First of all, a couple things. I don't know why you would think Paris for his birthday. Because I think he didn't go like on a trip to Vegas for his 40th birthday with the fellas. He chose to take you to Paris for his 40th birthday, which is good. Why would you think, though, his 40th birthday was a chance for him to propose to you? That seems weird.
I don't think that seems that weird. But you know what? I just had a thought.
Okay.
What if he was going to propose and then all the feelings that came up when he was about to propose like were not good, and then he realized like, oh crap, I don't want to marry this person. And then on the way home he broke up with her.
In that case, sort of props to that, because a lot of times the reverse of that, he does ask, and the woman who's like, oh my God, I want to marry him, they say yes anyway, and then 4 years later they're getting out.
Yeah.
Why, of all the places to break up, why not wait till you land?
Yeah.
Like, why do it in first
Must have been
class?
Burning inside of him.
He just couldn't take it. In other words, do we hold Lisa I mean, Lisa, I appreciate, because you are a listener, because you're the one who wrote this in, so I don't want to offend you. Why not do it before the trip? I think Yael's theory is probably good. Did I do something on the trip? Maybe subconsciously you felt pressure and he felt boxed in, and he just snapped somewhere over Greenland.
Totally. I could see that.
That sucks. He stuck me in a cab and it was the end. Wow.
Well, at least you had the champagne.
And at least you got, I hope you paid for the cab. I mean, just stuck you like, and that's, was there a conversation after? The worst part about this whole thing is her friends were probably like, oh my God, did he do it? And like when she got home and she has to explain.
And then she probably had 14 bottles of champagne instead of glasses.
That sucks. I don't think he was just a dick. I think something happened here.
I agree. Definitely. There was a moment of realization for him.
Not good. All right.
Sorry, Lisa.
All right. The next one from, oh my God, Jonathan from just outside Chicago. Okay. My girlfriend was the absolute worst about checking email. She said email was impersonal. She would always text or Messenger or Insta or just about any other means of communication. She used to get in trouble at work all the time because she would go weeks without checking her email. She didn't have it set up on her phone. I used to get on her case all the time about it. She isn't 19, she's 31. Anyway, you can guess where this is going. I opened my email and there it is from her, neatly typed, perfect punctuation with a CC to herself. John, I am seeing somebody else. Thought this was the best way to tell you, love you, Maya. And that was that. Kind of a fuck you on top of the fuck you.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
As soon as he started saying how much she didn't like email, I was like, I know where this is going. Oh man, that is, talk about.
Yeah, why? Like, she's seeing somebody else, but why? She takes the time at this time, the CC to herself. Like,
yeah, that's weird.
Right.
Just a reminder.
You want an email?
I just want it on my records.
Maybe. Okay. I never want to defend the dumper because, but maybe you got on her case so much about the email, and the new guy, they Snapchat each other and he doesn't give a shit about email, that she's just like, You want the truth, Jonathan from outside Chicago? Fuck off. Here's your email. No?
No, you're nice though. That's a nice thought.
What's your thought?
I think that, like, he said that she always said how impersonal email was. And so to her, I think that was the most impersonal, like distanced way she could do it, that she would feel the least shitty about doing it.
That's probably it.
Yeah, it was the other ones were too close for her. So basically, she's just a giant pussy. Can I say that on here?
Yeah, you can say pussy. I think you're right. She didn't need to send the I'm seeing somebody else. Does he want to know that? Like,
well, that's part of the truth.
Yeah. So she was honest. This is impersonal. Here's a little fact about it.
Yeah.
We're done here.
Correct.
Oh, man. I don't know about that. Have you ever been dumped in an email?
No. Have you?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Sylvester Stallone, very famously, his wife, who I believe he's still married to, he dumped her via FedEx. He FedExed it to her.
That's creative.
They're back together and still together like 25 years later. But it was like a story back in the day. And I actually heard the story firsthand. So Janice Dickinson like tricked him and said she was pregnant with his baby. So he had to get out of this thing. He panicked. He sent a FedEx. It was a whole legal fuck up by Stallone. Google it. Google Stallone, FedEx.
You have
Jennifer
an obsession
Flavin.
with FedEx.
I have an obsession with FedEx? What does that mean? I want to drive?
No, I just remember you researching FedEx one day and like you were just really interested.
I was wondering their business model because very few packages are sent overnight. The answer to that, the FedEx, is the letters got replaced by the boxes. People ordering shit online. So it's shittier for the driver. The driver used to walk around like with a nice envelope and it was really easy.
Okay.
The little FedEx pack, those are easy to carry around. Now they're lugging around toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sidebar. So Jonathan said, kind of a fuck you on top of the fuck you. Honestly, Jonathan, yeah, but you're probably better off without her. I think you got an email in 2023. Like, you are an adult.
Yeah.
People do communicate that way. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, Jay.
All right. The next one is from, sorry, buddy, Nicole. And she sent this via our Facebook page. Me and my ex used to fight constantly about everything, yelling, door slamming, weeks without talking. I never thought we would be together forever, but we never quite totally broke up. Anyway, we went out one night, had a nice dinner, seemed fine. We went home, had amazing sex. We were lying there in bed, and he says, should we just end it on a high note, no hard feelings? And I thought, you know what? Yes, this is perfect. No fighting, no tears. Let's let this be the end of our road. We went to sleep. I woke up, packed my stuff, and moved on with my life. Bad relationship, but the best breakup ever.
Awesome.
Kind of good, right?
Yeah, I was smiling that whole time.
Yeah, it was like, if you know you're going to get out, pick the best moment, and rather than cling to the best moment.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
I think it's awesome that she agreed, because instead of just being like, no, because, usually in that high moment, like you said, you want to cling on and you just like have that attachment.
Got close to this precipice a few times and then it turned into a fight or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like, we're good here. I like this.
No, I love that.
Yeah, that was good. Must have been a good dinner. So they both kind of knew deep down like it wasn't going to go forever. Good for him. Should we just end it on a high note, no hard feelings? And she didn't say, what do you mean? Like,
no.
She knew.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, that's a great idea.
And all those years and yelling and slamming, they met at this moment and they high-fived and hit the road.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm strangely like turned on.
Good for you, Nicole. And good for him. Good for all of this.
Good job.
We like this. All right. We have more on this. We're dealing with the breakups.
Oh, breaking up is hard to do.
But I got to take a quick break to pay for things like breakups around here. But we will be back right after this. We are back. Me and Lady Lanciano are diving into the how instead of the why of the breakups. The next one is from, and this is what he called himself, so this is how he signed his letter, the asshole from Maryland. Okay? I'm not sure this is a breakup story as much as a impossible to break up story. I wasn't even dating this girl for very long. I said I didn't want to see her anymore. And she kept saying she understood. She just needed to pick up some things at my apartment. So she would come over, we would talk for an hour. She said she understood, and she would call 3 days later saying she forgot something else at my house and needed to come over again. Over and over, she would do this. I can't imagine she would have that much stuff at my place. She was either planting stuff all along or bringing new stuff each trip. I don't know. This went on for 7 straight weeks. Finally, my lease was up, and I moved out and deleted her info. Maybe the next tenant is dating her. Who knows? So you talk about one of the most awkward things. This is fucked up. But there are people who do this. Like, I got to come back one more time. The awkward, you brought it up earlier, is you break up and then you're like, it could be anything from like furniture to, oh, my favorite sweatshirt is over your house. Can I get the box of stuff? Sometimes people just leave it. I always tell people, like, you're done. You lose whatever.
What?
Like, whatever is there, you lose. You're done.
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
That's it. You're out. No possessions. It's done. It's tainted. It was in the older. What do you say? Everything. You what do you want to do? Go get everything.
I want to go get everything.
Want your toothbrush?
And then I
want
can
your
decide.
Hairbrush.
No, but maybe there's other stuff.
Like what?
Like my favorite sweater or a pair of earrings. I always leave earrings, and it's not on purpose, by the way.
I think that you lose. I think that's it.
No, I totally we're just gonna.
Does it matter who dumped? Say she dumped him.
Okay.
He could be like, fuck you. Is he a dick for throwing shit out?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, wait, so that's like, where do you stand on giving the ring back?
You got to give the ring back.
You do?
Yeah.
It's a gift.
It's a gift for if you're going to get married.
Okay, so if you say, I want to marry you, and you give the ring back?
Okay, how about you don't have to give the ring back if the person who gave it to you is like totally loaded.
Okay. So
then it's fine.
So if I dump you, I think you have the right to come get your stuff. If you dump me, your favorite sweater's in the dumpster. Like, I have no obligation to pack up your shit in a nice, neat box.
Somebody's angry.
Hey, I'm seeing Joe now. Can I just come over and clean the drawers out? I would be like, fuck off. I think you lose. I think that's it. I think that's severance.
Okay. Well, we can agree to disagree on this one.
Okay. Next one. Lila, L-I-L-A, Lila via our Facebook page. I dated this guy for 18 months. He was Jewish. I am sort of nothing. He is 48, never been married. I am 37, divorced once. Thought we were good. One day his mother calls me and says, sorry that Ken didn't have the guts to tell you, but I will. He is not marrying a non-Jewish divorcee, and there is no point in him dating one. You won't be seeing him again. I thought it was a joke. I called him, left a message like, what the fuck? He texted me back one word, sorry. Called him a dozen times after that because I needed a little more than a sorry and a call from a mother. Never got any more. The end.
Oh my gosh. That is insane.
Now, you are of Israeli descent. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, I was raised Jewish.
There's a lot of pressure to marry within the tribe.
I think.
And a lot of times the guy, especially, does not want to admit that.
Mm-hmm.
They get into these relationships. They're feeling like you can't marry her. And they don't know how to either tell themselves that or tell her that. So mom stepped in.
That is so sad.
It's so sad. And yeah, a divorced, non-Jewish divorcee. That's like, who cares that she's divorced? Like, that shouldn't have mattered.
I think she was just adding that to the non-Jewish thing. It's the non-Jewish thing, I think, that was
and
the
so
main
he just
factor.
said, sorry, are you familiar with this? Because I am familiar with similar things like this where they just shut it down. He didn't have the balls.
I know, because he probably thought it was like ridiculous and he probably loved her.
You think he knew the mother was going to make this call?
Yeah.
Oh, you think if you don't do it, I will? It was like a conversation like that?
I think he knew. He may have even been sitting there. What do you think?
Oh, no. Mom, you do it.
They were just sitting there. Yeah.
Mom, you have
possible.
to call her. I'm not going to tell her. You tell her. He's 40. What is he? He's 48.
I know.
So his mother has to be 70 something, at least.
I'm sorry.
I got to call. She's not a Jew. Can't have it.
He's not marrying you, darling.
You're not going to marry her. You got to
sorry.
find somebody else. You got to get a nice girl down. What happened to the nice Bernadette down the street? That sucks. But he didn't just disagree. He just said sorry. Like, I think Lila, I think he got off easy. He could have married you and then you just felt hated by everybody around and he resent and there's pressure. You don't want to get in a situation like that. If he doesn't have the balls to step up and tell his family, like, listen, I love her and this is it and you're going to have to learn this. We run into this scenario with a lot of cultures. Indian culture is very strict about, they still give a ton of family pressure. Yeah. So does Jewish, but so does, if he doesn't have the balls to even just tell you himself, then you should be glad that you're not with him. Did he say he dated this guy for 18 months? So at any time during the 18 months, he must have brought it up. No, like, hey, or is he just wanted to date her? And the mother's like, it's time for you to settle down with a nice Jewish guy.
But just the fact that he can't talk about hard things, like that's an issue.
Yeah, I know. So she,
so congratulations.
48, never been married. Might not have wanted to marry the Jewish girls and then knew that he couldn't marry the non-Jewish girls. So that might have been it's not a judgment for those of us who are 48 and never been married. But if you got to know why, you got to have an answer. His answer can't just be like, haven't met the right one, because clearly he needed one that was a Jewish one. Mm-hmm. And a mom. It's weird I want to know if they'd ever met the mother. Clearly she's close to him, Lila. Had you ever met the mother? Like, had you ever been introduced? I kind of want to know that. And what did he tell the mother?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had met. And maybe that's gave her even more ammunition and like fire to be like, you're not marrying her. Not that one. That Lila. What kind of name is Lila? We're just assuming she has a New York accent.
She definitely has a New York accent. That sucks, but I think you're fine. Yeah, that's a weird one. A 48-year-old guy has his mother dump you. That's fucked up. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, Lai.
All right, next one. Emily from Colorado Springs. So he says he has to go away for a business trip. It was weird because he was a local meat distributor, never one time in 3 years had a business trip. He packs 2 suitcases for what was supposed to be 2 days in St. Louis. He said he needed a second suitcase in case he had to bring back supplies. Anyway, I never heard from him again. Called his family, called his friends. One time, 4 months later, he liked one of my social media posts, so I know he wasn't dead. Not even like a heart or a comment, just a like. 2 years out the window without a second thought, just a second suitcase.
That is so bizarre.
That's so bizarre.
I've never heard of anything like that before.
That's so fucked up. She clearly had questions. The behavior was weird.
Even before.
Do we assume he went away? It doesn't sound like he was going away on like some romantic trip with another girl, because he wouldn't have brought 2 suitcases. He's just like, I'm going out. I'm
getting out of this life and starting a new one.
Liking the social media post was his way of setting up a flare, like, I miss you 4 months later. Like, maybe I fucked. What is that?
Guilt or hey, making sure she's okay. What is that? That's the
it's guilt. Have you had somebody do that? Have you had an ex been like,
no,
never commented on a post?
No, but I'm not a big like social media person. So,
well, how would you feel about that if they liked a song? Would you be like, oh my God, they still think about me?
I would be confused, and then I would be and then I would probably just analyze the crap out of it, and then come down to. Yeah, either
that is the weird thing. She said, like, I knew he wasn't dead. That's your first thought. It's like, what happened? And you're probably frantically calling around, right? I mean, somebody leaves and you don't hear from them, and you've been in 3 years. They had 3 years in a relationship.
That's
somebody who was on this podcast a couple years ago. I'll say her name is Jenny. She had that happen. She was dating somebody for like 7-8 years, flat out ghost.
Whoa!
And she knew people who knew him, and they're like, yeah, no, he's fine. Just never like tried for a month hard.
I was going to say, did she try?
For a month. And that's why I want to know Emily from Colorado Springs.
I want to know.
She said called his family, called his friends. Clearly she must have called him 1,000 times. Just tuning that out. Can you imagine that level of, that takes balls, not in a good way.
Yeah.
But just like, la, 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 la. I'm going to just ignore you.
Yeah.
After 3 years. But it doesn't sound like he like ran away with another woman. He's just like, I'm out.
I mean, it sounds...
Didn't he have to come back to his job? Maybe he did. Did she go down to the local meat plant? Did she say like at some point you kind of have to confront them, right? You know? We talk about how you're never going to get closure on the show. We talk about that all the time. something like that, I would want to be like, what the fuck? All of these a little bit. I want to be like, I would want a little bit more than sorry, but I don't know what I'm going to get. What am I going to get that's going to make me feel better?
Well, so far I've been thinking like, of course I would want closure on all of these too, but so far it sounds like everybody has dodged a bullet.
Yeah, if somebody does this, like you wasted 3 years, or wasted is probably the wrong word. You got something out of it, and good. You could have been all of these. You could have been 10 years and 2 kids later.
Yeah.
And
that's the closure, though, is just knowing that
none of these were, and we got a few of them, but none of the ones we chose here were divorce stories. Mm-hmm. They're just flat out breakup. A lot of this has to be. We're always bad communicators in the relationship, so it's not really surprising that you're bad getting out of it. I've had that happen, like somebody either texted me or emailed me or something, and I felt like, what the fuck? You can't call me? But I'm not sure I would be any better. I don't know.
Yeah. What's the worst way you've broken up with someone?
I'm not a good person at that either. I would sort of like the slow fade out kind of.
Okay.
But the worst way I've ever broken up with somebody was, I think I told them that, wait, we were dating? I thought we were just hanging out.
Oh my God.
So I don't need to break, because they're like, you break up with me? I'm like, no, we don't. And I was like 25. I'm like, we don't need to break up because officially we weren't really doing
my God.
anything. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, this is like a year. And I'm like, well, how many times did we really go out?
Oh,
and it was like
my
one
gosh.
of those. That's 25-year-old Brian. Don't judge. I wouldn't
Okay,
do that.
all right.
But
I'm
it was
not
something
judging.
like that I would diminish what we had, so it made it seem like, what are you missing anyway?
It's almost like gaslighting
some
in a
chicken
way.
fingers. Yeah. So then she's thinking the whole time, like, was I crazy? You were my boyfriend. And I was like, what? What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
Yeah, looking back, that was probably not the strategy. That was really not fair. Sorry, Caroline. Sorry. Yeah, it was that.
Okay.
It was, if I make it seem like it's not such a big deal that we're not going to see each other anymore, that was my strategy.
Okay, and today, if you had to break up with somebody, how would you do it?
I don't know. I don't think I would want to. I don't even like to think about it, because thinking about the end of something that you at least at one point had I think if it was going to happen, it would happen in couples therapy.
Okay.
I think I would want to do it in the presence of an arbiter.
Safe space.
Well, somebody who could help me get through the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, can you help us
navigate?
This?
Yeah.
Which is probably a wise way to do it, right? Because you should, if you're in a serious relationship and you're feeling something, I think it's a good idea to bring in somebody to help you with communication.
Yeah.
And that person might like walk you through the paperwork, walk you through the division of assets, whatever. Like, here's how you guys are going to go your separate ways. Or they might point out, like, you guys aren't right for each other, or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I would do that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's great. I was surprised by
I don't know if
answer.
that's more of a pussy move than anything.
No, I think it's great.
Is that
It's
like bringing in
honorable.
the Jewish mother?
No, not at all.
You should dump her. Yeah, I think, at this point, like I would want to exhaust every option if you got into a meaningful relationship or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like, we clearly had something that I'm just going to throw away over Greenland. I would want to go all the way down the road to figure out what was real here. Because I think if you cared, you cared.
Yeah.
Okay. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Did you have one that you think that you could have handled better at some point?
One of the breakups?
One of your own breakups?
Oh, one of my...
Tossing one of these fellas off to the side of the road? Is there one that you're like, you know what, the relationship wasn't good, but I probably could have handled that better?
Yeah. I think that, well, there was one guy that I kind of cheated on him because, and I say kind of because it was just
That's
making
like being
out.
a little bit pregnant.
It was just making out.
Okay.
But I told him like 2 days later about what happened.
So you told him?
I told him.
Were you in like Mexico? Like a spring break thing?
No, I wasn't. I was like in Arizona.
Oh, and he was in Arizona?
He was in Arizona.
So you geographically, I think that makes it worse.
It does.
Yeah.
It does make it
Wasn't like
worse.
you're on spring break at Tequila.
No,
you
I was
you
like
weren't
working.
At a Magic Mike show and got out.
Yeah.
You were working.
Yeah.
And you're making out with like a fellow waiter or something.
It was my boss at the time.
Oh, Jesus.
I
Okay.
I know.
And you told him though.
I told him, yeah. And then, we ended up, well, he wanted to like stay together and try and work it out. And I was like, but I like this other guy.
Oh.
So anyway, the way I
So
could have
you
done
weren't
it.
like, I made out, I'm sorry. You're like, I made out and I'd like to do more with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not better. Then why tell him any of it? Why even do that?
Because I had to come clean. I'm too honest.
Why
of a
couldn't you
person.
break up and then like you were telling him knowing you were going to break up? You were saying,
Yeah.
I did and I would like to do more and
I think
thank you.
I didn't think I really hadn't
There's
thought
a
that
box
far
by the door
ahead.
with
Yeah.
your
I think
possessions.
where I could have done better is just like as it was leading up to that point where we made out, like I knew that I didn't want to be with this guy anyway.
Right.
You know, and so I should have just like broken up with him.
Yeah.
And then
Little bit of a
made
pussy.
out.
A little bit of a pussy.
And then made out with the
made
gal.
out. Yeah, there was a
With the
little
guy.
blurt. You jumped the gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
But looking back, you do feel bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you told him that you made out as a way of telling him you want to do more.
Yeah, I guess so.
He wasn't guilt-ridden, like, please take me back.
No.
It's like, please let me go, make
Yes.
out with him some more. Oh, no. All right. This was fun. Breaking up is hard to do.
Yeah.
It is, no matter how you do it. As far as us, like, share, follow. Please review this podcast. Where can people listen to you sing songs?
On Spotify, Yael Lanciano. That's my artist name. That's my name.
Yael Lanciano. And they can
Yes.
just hear your singing.
They can just hear me sing. Or on this
I
podcast.
made out, but I wanted to do more. So I let him go.
I'm so sorry. But
Sorry,
not
I dumped
really.
him over Greenland. And then I had my Jewish father say, sorry. Okay. We're going to record. We're going to do a duet. Shoot us an email. You can still do, I want to hear more, or I want to hear your thoughts on our answers or anything we're missing on these or any of the others. greatlovedebate@gmail.com. Go to greatlovedebate.com. There are actually some live shows coming up. I know I'm like, I don't want to do anymore. But they call Raleigh, North Carolina at Good Nights Comedy Club. And I'm doing one right here in Phoenix. I haven't done a Great Love Debate in the Valley of the Sun since 2016. It's time.
wow.
That's 7 years ago. So it's time. Go to there, greatlovedebate.com. Tickets should be on sale soon because, as always, at the Great Love Debate, we never stop making love. See you next time.